Hi, Coach Kara here. So today I want to talk about, if you've seen the topic, I really want to expound upon how to avoid an abusive relationship. All right. So of course, I really wanted to really talk about this particular matter because of what's going on in social media today with, Diddy and his abuse towards singer Cassie. If this topic is going to be a little triggering for you, please feel free. I will understand. You can just dismiss yourself, but it won't be graphic. It won't be anything that should affect you in any negative manner. Okay, it's all help. It's all love. All right. Again, thank you so much for joining me. So, as you've seen in recent headlines with the issue between the abuse towards Cassie from Diddy, listen, my love, there are certain things that you can do to avoid being with an abusive person. So before I get into what those factors actually are, I just kind of want to give you like a comparison of what that looks like when you are able to avoid this sort of toxic connection situation. It's not really a relationship, okay? So, if you've been following the stories, what's going on with this particular matter, I've seen in the comments where people are questioning, well, how was this behavior done towards, the singer and then his ex, who is no longer with us? Why did that happen to them and not with Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo? What was the difference? Okay, now that I've said that, the difference is there's three things that you must have in order to avoid such a type of person, okay? You've got to have yourself together. We're talking about inner strength at its highest form. Unless you've been living outside of the hemisphere, humans have drastically changed. And because of that, you have to protect yourself. You have to keep your vibrations at a higher level, meaning being stable. Mental stability is key. Now more than ever before, you should have your mental health as high functioning as you possibly can. And why is that, Coach Kara? The reason why that is when you are in a higher vibration, you're able to think properly. You're able to make good judgment, good decisions for yourself. You're able to think right there on your feet versus making poor choices and bad decisions always. Secondly, being emotionally stable. My loves, if you do not have your emotions intact and you have found yourself going from one situation to another because you're kind of all over the place, you don't know what to feel, you lack emotional intelligence, no one really understands what it is you need from them based on your emotions, this is very, very unhealthy. You must keep your emotions in check. You must heal yourself. And see, that's what it all goes back to. If you don't seek healing at some point in your earlier years, you become so damaged till you don't even recognize danger. When you're emotionally unstable, you don't know how to identify what true love actually is. Which brings me to the next, number 3. If you are not mentally and emotionally stable, well, if you are, I should say, let's think positively. When you are emotionally and mentally stable, you are far more likely to have better discernment. Hence, being able to make better decisions when it comes to choosing a partner. You're going to see all types of red flags, or maybe even just one giant one, but because your discernment is where it needs to be, your spidey senses have kicked in, and now you're able to tell yourself, no, this isn't going to be good for me. I have to maintain, the highest level of integrity and, stand strongly on my morals and my boundaries and my standards. You have all of these things in place like a barrier protecting you. And you're standing firmly on that and letting that person know, hey, no. Like with all the strength, the inner strength within, letting them know, we're not doing this. No, we're not. And that is what happened with Jennifer Lopez. See, when you are mentally and emotionally strong, you make conscientious decisions for your well-being. So just to give you a scenario of what that looks like. So I guess he was trying it. He knows that she's strong-minded. She has that diva mentality. Doesn't take a lot of ish from anyone. Hey, she's Jenny from the block. So apparently he tried to have a studio session with some girls in there. You know how the guys, the rappers, they like to bring the ladies in just for entertainment purpose or whatever. She was not having that. She went home, changed into her sneakers, her jeans, put her hair back in a bun, came back in there, Jenny from the block, from the Bronx, okay? And told him, oh, they gotta, she laid it down. She stood firmly on what she believed in. She was not going to allow him and his power to make her go against what it is that she believed in, what she felt strongly about, which means not trying to be the main chick, but trying to be the only one. She wasn't having that. And the girls left and there was no drama, but she immediately left the relationship right after that because she just realized, now once you disrespect me, that's it. And that's how she was able to get out of that. Whereas the others, they stayed in it. They weren't as strong. They didn't know exactly what it is that they really needed. And I guarantee you, when someone knows that you are in need of, you're not as, dependent and self-reliant. You have businesses in the works like J-Lo did. She was already, kind of like self-made, if you will. During that time, she was well known. She wasn't trying to get a come up with a record deal or something like that. And she wasn't as young either. So when you're younger, you make foolish mistakes because you're mature. But you see the difference? So when you don't have to depend on someone, they're not going to dangle anything in your face and say, hey, what are you willing to do? Or what are you willing to accept in order to get this, to have this sort of lifestyle? And I believe that's what happened. I'm almost certain that's what happened. Whereas J-Lo, she was able to get up out of that. She stood strongly and firmly on what it is that she believed in. That's what I'm talking about. Being mentally and emotionally strong so that you can make a better decision for your well-being and getting up out of any situation that doesn't look like it's going to put you in the right direction towards love itself. See, here's the thing about love. Love is not going to present you with a monster. Okay? It isn't. It isn't going to bring you someone into your life who's going to deceive you and manipulate you and gaslight. It is not. But see, what happens when you're not strong and you don't have that inner strength, metaphorically speaking, you become like an open portal to where now you're letting in all of this negativity. You're inviting people in. When your aura and your vibration is not where it should be, oh yes, you're going to have all types of people, the wrong types of people coming towards you. because they can sense it. And as I always say, a predator always knows its prey. This is true. It's like you're a walking target. You have it on your back. Yes, I'll get with her. She seems like she's kind of weak-minded, easily to conform. I can mold this person and break them down. And within a couple of months, you've become so oppressed and broken down, you no longer know how to defend yourself. And this is what happens in these situations. And so, guys, I really want you all to be quite mindful of one's mental well-being, their mental health, the mental status, the mental instabilities. You really need to take that into account these days. People are not really who you think they are. Okay? I as I was brainstorming this topic, I began to think about when I was like, I think 20, because I always worked 2 jobs. I like just having multiple sources of income. And this particular gig, it was like a temporary, I think 3-month assignment or something like that, to where I had to work at a facility where people would come and get their prescriptions for like mental health patients. If you're bipolar, you come weekly or monthly or wherever, you'll pick it up. And so I would have to do the filing, put the records back for the doctors, that sort of thing. And so the first day, this lady, she's big prison guard type woman. She walks me into this room and I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot of files. But it just stopped there. I was like, okay, I can do this. But then she says to me, as we're standing there, just looking at all the files, she said, yes, what you're looking at is you're looking at the files of your neighbor, the mailman, your school teacher, the clerk at the bodega, the one you go to pick up your cleaners, where you get your favorite food from, your restaurant. And she went on and just made me realize where I was and what I was amongst. Not only for this county, but for others as well. And then that's when I had a revelation like, whoa, this is crazy. All of these people who are mentally unstable, especially without medication, are all around us. And that's when I realized how scary it was when she pointed it out to me that way. She said, they're all around you, Kara. And I even identified 2 of the people as I was putting back their files. Like, oh wow, look, I'm telling you, which is why my point being is that you must have yourself together. Stop getting into these relationships unhealed. If you haven't moved on from a past connection or even the previous one, take time out to heal. Listen, healing is so important. You're not going to heal 100%, and that's only because there's reminders there to remind you, hey, don't go back to that. Okay, so it's going to kick in every now and then. But you have to heal yourself so that you have that mental strength, so that you can think properly and make wise decisions for yourself to avoid these sort of situations. Because, as I just stated, there are many people out there who are not just mentally well. And then for Diddy to go in and apologize, whatever, saying he's trying to get counseling. You see what I mean? It's not even about being mentally unstable either. There are people with demons around us. Like, no, I mean that, like, spiritually. People are walking around here with demons. And you need to be able to discern that. The only way that you're going to have a better sense of discernment is by listening to that inner voice. And when something kicks in, like how do you say, your spidey senses, your hair is standing up, get away, you have to listen to that. This way your intuition always works for you. It's never wrong. The issue that lies is that many of you are so willing to put yourself out there because you feel lonely and you're desperate and you're just so determined for someone to like you, and it's always the wrong person. Yeah, these people are all around you, okay? So if you don't do anything else in this lifetime, please take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health and your emotional well-being. Stabilize yourself some way. Disassociate yourself from people. Go talk to a therapist. Get on medication, whatever it is that you need. Because what we don't want to be involved with is a freaking monster who doesn't mind embarrassing you in a public setting. Like, dude came out in a freaking towel. Didn't even think to just to throw on some shorts or maybe even a bathrobe, something a bit more decent, to attack her. That's great. That's insanity. Okay? And then her not being able to fight back. That's oppression. That's being involved in that kind of situation and environment far too long. Okay? You don't need to get to that point. You can totally avoid these types of people and situations by keeping yourself in the best state. Always setting your boundaries and maintaining those boundaries. No. The moment you feel that something is off right now, dismiss yourself, get away from it immediately. Don't even think about it. Give people opportunities. No, if it doesn't seem right, it probably isn't, my love. Okay? So I just really wanted to touch on that subject. You have to maintain your mental, your emotional stability so that you can have the best discernment for your well-being. Okay? I want the best for you guys. I want you all to win. I want you to have love find you. All right? And you'll know it when it presents itself. All right, my love? So if any of you need some guidance on someone to talk to, if you are experiencing this, all of my information will be down below. I'll probably also put some links there to where you can, call or reach out to for that sort of assistance. Help is always there. You want to try to get away from a situation as soon as you can before it gets to that point. Because once it gets to that point, it gets harder and harder and harder each time. And then people don't understand that. They won't. Okay? All right, my love. I want you all to stay strong and straight and stay wise always. All right? So we're going to leave that right there for now. That is all for now, my love. And thank you for joining me always. Until next time.